Alright, good morning kindergartners. It's Miss E here with my friend Miss Chang.
Hi.
Today we're going to do a read aloud of a book called How to Bake a Cake by Anastasia Soon. And today's read aloud is going to be a little bit different in that Miss Chang and I are going to bake a cake alongside reading this book to you. Remember, when authors write how-to books, they give you steps to make something. Today we're going to see if this author makes her steps clear enough that we can bake our very own cake at home, and you guys can try it too. You ready? Alright. How to bake a cake. Anastasia Soon. How to bake a cake. Here we have the table of contents. Remember, the table of contents tells us where we can find different things in the book. So, Let's Celebrate starts on page 4. Oven and Pans starts on page 8. Make the Batter, page 10. Bake Your Cake, page 14. Decorate Your Cake, page 20. Photo glossary on 22. Index on 24. Websites to visit on 24. And about the author on 24. Let's celebrate. A big day is coming. You can make it a special day. You can bake a cake. Ask an adult to help you. Alright, boys and girls, today to bake a cake you will need baking spray.
Got that.
You'll need 2.5 cups of flour. You'll need 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of milk, 3¼ cups of vegetable oil, 2¼ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and you'll need some measuring tools. You'll need some measuring spoons, a measuring cup, a spatula, a mixing bowl, an electric mixer. We actually don't have one, so we're going to be using a whisk instead. You'll need 2 9-inch round baking pans. We don't have those either, so we're going to use some cupcake tins today. You'll need oven mitts. And last, you'll need a cooling rack. If you missed any of those materials, you can go ahead and pause the video here. Here's a picture of all the materials you'll need. Alright, first you're going to put the oven rack in the middle of the oven.
You gotta make sure it's lined up.
Yes, you want to make sure your tray is totally flat. The rack's totally flat.
There you go.
Then you're going to close the oven. And next you're going to turn it on to 350 degrees. Alright. Boys and girls, let the oven warm up. Next you're going to make the cake batter. Alright, so now we're going to get the pans ready. You are going to spray both of your pans with some cooking spray. Go ahead. Since Miss Chang and I have cupcake tins, we're also going to put these cupcake liners in ours. Boys and girls, we forgot to film this, but always wash your hands before you start cooking. You don't want the cake to stick to the pan, that's why we're adding this spray to it. Coat it with cooking spray before you put in the batter. Make the batter. Put the sugar in the mixing bowl.
There's 1 cup. I need 2 cups. I'm gonna put another one in. Yeah, make sure the mixing cup is filled all the way. Okay, I've got 2 cups of sugar in there now.
Now, add the eggs one at a time. Tap the egg, then crack it open. Pour out the yolk and the white.
There's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Now turn on the mixer. Since we don't have a mixer, we're going to use a whisk instead. Mix the ingredients for 1 minute. Turn the bowl as you mix.
Now add the flour, oil, and milk.
I made sure that the milk was filled up to the line that says 1 right here on the cup side because we need 1 cup of milk. Now I'm going to fill 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. And now I'm going to fill up 2.5 cups of flour. I'm using a 1/2 cup right now, so I'm going to do 5 of these. You guys can count with me. Just like Miss Chang said, I want to make sure that flour is all the way to the top. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5.
All right, now add the baking powder and vanilla.
All right, so we need 2¼ teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to use my 1/2 teaspoon. I need 4.5. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and since I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon, I'm just going to fill this up halfway to make 1/4. 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm going to fill this up twice. Here's 1/2 and 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Now it says, now mix everything together. Use the mixer again for 1 minute. We're going to use the whisk again. Make the batter smooth. And one of the tips it has also on the picture says, use a spatula to scrape the sides of the bowl, just so you can get all that mixture in there and you don't lose any of it.
All right, here's my spatula.
All right, so the header of the next page says, bake your cake. Pour half the batter into one pan, then pour the rest of the batter into the other pan. Tap the pans to pop any air bubbles. And the little caption at the bottom says, if one pan has more batter, it will take longer to bake, probably because it's bigger.
All right, since we don't have 2 9-inch round pans and we decided we're gonna do cupcake tins, we're just gonna fill each of our little cupcakes with batter. I'm gonna fill it close to the top, but not all the way so it doesn't cook over. I'm also gonna clean up the edges after so that it doesn't get burnt while we put it in the oven.
Put the pans in the oven. Bake for 30 minutes. You see there's a little text box right here that says, wear oven mitts so you don't burn yourself. That's a really good tip.
All right, boys and girls, the oven is super, super hot, so please ask your parents to do this part, okay? And I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes.
All right, you guys, we made it. There's about 7 seconds left, so our timer is gonna go off, and then we're gonna have to see what's next in our recipe. Okay, let's see what it says. Is your cake ready? Test it with a toothpick. And the caption on this photo says, a toothpick will let you know if the inside is baked. Did the toothpick come out clean? Then your cake is ready. If it did not come out clean, bake it a little longer. And it has a text feature up here as well. It says, if the inside is still gooey, put the pans back in the oven. After 2 minutes, test the middle again. All right, so let's do that.
Remember to put your oven mitts on or have your parents do this, because when you take the pan out of the oven, it's going to be super hot. Great. I'm going to take my toothpick and check. Ooh. There's still batter on the toothpick. I think it needs to go in a little bit longer. Put my oven mitt back on before I put it back into the oven. I'm going to put a new timer. Is that 2 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll wait and see. All right, we're gonna check on our cupcakes one more time since they weren't ready based on our toothpick test last time. I'm gonna use my toothpick to test one more time. There's nothing on the toothpick, looks like. They're all ready. Put each layer on a rack. Let them cool down. The caption in this photo says, use a thin knife to loosen the cake from the pan. Then flip the pans over onto the rack. Miss Chang and I did ours differently since we had cupcakes, so we just took them out of the tray and put them on our cooling rack. Here's the header. It says, decorate your cake. Now you can frost your cake. Frost the middle first, then frost the top and the sides. The caption for the picture says, use a knife to add a big scoop of frosting, then spread it out. Repeat until the whole cake is covered.
All right, so we've got our rich and creamy vanilla frosting. I'm going to open it up. And here's our yummy frosting. So I'm going to take this off. And just like the instructions said, I'm going to take a big chunk. I'm going to put it in the middle of each cupcake, and then I'm going to spread it out. So I'm going to start in the middle and spread out. That's what it said to do. So I'll put some in the middle there and just kind of get it on there. Now I've got a big chunk in the middle, and then I'll just use my spatula, or you can use a knife. Kind of just get it to the edges.
Yep, don't forget the sides.
And now my cupcake is all frosted. We'll do the other ones now.
Slice and serve your cake. This text feature says, you've made it a special day. All right, photo glossary. The glossary tells us what some of the words in the book mean. Here's a picture, and it says batter, a mixture of milk, eggs, and flour used to make cakes. Gooey, something that is sticky or soft. Mitts, padded gloves that protect your hands. A spatula, a tool with a wide, flat blade that bends. Toothpick, a small thin piece of wood. Yolk, the yellow part of an egg. It's right here. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of our read aloud. We hope you enjoyed our reading of how to bake a cake. If you guys bake a cake at home, we'd love to see videos or pictures. Most importantly, enjoy.